burst few hours ago as nobody ever expected what happened few hours ago. A lot of Nigerians never said this coming. They never expected that what transpired few hours ago can actually transpire. You know, a lot of protests have been erupting in different places in Nigeria from October 1, the Independence Day, and they call it a fearless protest. It erupted in Abuja where police were actually tear gassing protesters and all of that. And even in Lagos, protesters marched to Ojota and all of that. A lot of irregularities actually take place. Come and see you in the early afternoon. Everywhere burst at it. A lot of people actually cry and a lot of people actually don't believe their eyes moment the coffee of TINUBU actually entered Lagos. They carried the coffee of TINUBU to Lagos and a lot of people couldn't believe their eyes. So let us stay connected to the end of this video. I'm going to play you the full video now. You will see everything the way it goes and you will see what happened. Nobody ever expected it. If you can share the video, just do it to share it. And if you can share it, just like it as you're watching, like it, give the thumb up so that's recommended for us. Just stay connected. I'm going back again.
Welcome you back to LAJUPOG TV.
I don't have bad news for you today.
The home of religious gossip.
But you should believe you find for Muhammad.
What is happening in the Christendom? Join now to make sense with LAJUPOG.
Hello my great and wonderful viewers, welcome back to LAJUPOG TV. For those of you coming across this channel for the very first time, for those of you coming across this platform, ensure you click the registration button appearing on your video screen, and at the same time click the notification bell icon so that whenever we drop a new video in few hours time, YouTube will easily let you to know. First one, you know, a protest is erupting everywhere in Nigeria right now, and they've been announcing the protest right from the time that they finished the embargo government protest in August 1 to August 10. You know, they announced that another protest will showcase from October 1, which is the Independence Day, and the protest started since yesterday. A lot of Nigerians have actually stormed streets amidst the fact that they arrested a lot of protesters because of the embargo government protest in August. Amidst the fact that they arrested a lot of protesters, more than 2,000 protesters were arrested, and they charged 10 of them for treason. And treason is an offense under the law that is punishable by death and by life sentence and all. Protesters, with all these things that they did to them because of the last protest, Nigerians amidst all these things that TINUBU did to them because of the last protest, as they poof more than 20 protesters and they took the life of more than 20 protesters. Protesters they stormed the streets in October 1st and even today, the October 2nd and even the 3rd. They storming the street now. They said no, enough is enough, because according to them, the same thing that they've been agitating before, that's the same thing that they still agitating, because according to them, TINUBU increased the cost of living after the protesters from August so that the bad governance can be removed and the cost of living in Nigeria can be reduced. TINUBU increased the cost of living and things hiked up the more. They increased the price of petrol after that time, and Nigerians are now displaying their display regarding all these things. And suddenly nobody actually expected what transpired few hours ago. I missed how the coffee of TINUBU actually entered Lagos. It is a sad moment for the lover of TINUBU all across Nigeria, because the coffee of TINUBU entered Lagos few hours ago. You will see everything in this very video. I'm going to play you the full video. You will see everything. So I'd like us to stay connected to the end of this video. If you can share the video, just do it to share it. Share it on various streaming platforms. Let it go viral. And if you can share it, just like it as you're watching. Like it, give the thumb up so that it will be recommended for us. A lot of people were actually jubilating that the coffee of TINUBU entered Lagos. Why the lover of TINUBU actually in a sad moment, because they never expected it. It came suddenly, and this is a very terrible thing that is happening in Nigeria right now. Amidst everything that is happening, protesters still don't stop the protest. They keep up the protest and they continue to protest and agitating for a good life, because a lot of Nigerian youth, according to a report, they said they've been frustrated by the government of TINUBU. TINUBU keeps saying that they should give him time and all of that. Whenever he come out to make a public speech or press conference and all of that, he keep telling the protesters or he keep telling Nigerians to give him time. And Nigerians are saying they're tired of giving him time, because they said the more they're giving him time, the more he's sabotaging their life. The more they're giving him time, the more it's increased the cost of living in Nigeria. The more they're giving him time, the more it's increasing everything in Nigeria. Nobody can afford anything in the country again. And the more they give him time, he increase fuel price, he increase tuition fee of institutions, he buy private jets. The more they give him time, he buy SUV for the governors and all. And the more they give him time, he buy presidential yachts that we did not even see. And Nigerians are standing up on their voice and they're saying enough is enough. They said this protest will not be like the August protest where they actually arrested a lot of protesters and they poof a lot of protesters. They said if the security operative like they pull the trigger, that they should pull the trigger, they won't like it this time. That's what a lot of Nigerian protesters are saying, and they're saying they are hungry. A lot of people are saying they are hungry and they're calling TINUBU thief. They said if TINUBU did not know what he's supposed to do in the office, he should leave the office. And a lot of people are saying if this protest did not work, that TINUBU will increase the suffering of Nigerians again, the way he did in the last protest that took place in August. Because after the protest, he increased the suffering of Nigeria. Things hiked up the more. There were inflation before, but after the protest, there were hyperinflation. He increased things in a higher level. He increased fuel price and all. Dangote refinery come to stay, but the same Dangote refinery, nobody is seeing the dividends. It did not reduce the cost of fuel and all of that. And Nigerians are out there asking questions with their placard. They are out there asking questions regarding the irregularities that is taking place in the cabinet of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But still that is not enough. The coffee of Tinubu entered Lagos. You will see it in this very video. But before I play the video, listen to what Rufai said regarding this whole thing that Tinubu did and the protest that is erupting everywhere. You will see everything. So you can share the video, share it. If you can share it, just like it. Just stay connected. I'll come back again.
Before I take your comments, I'd like for us to tie in all these stories together. From yesterday's speech, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, during his nationwide broadcast, appealed to Nigerians to endure with his administration, saying that he is aware of the struggles many Nigerians are facing with rising cost of living. The president also highlighted that our founding fathers chose democracy as a form of government which launched the dream of our great country. Well, let's take one reaction that actually made the rounds. This was Nigeria's first prime minister, Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, who led the Nigerian delegation to the 15th regular session of the United Nations General Assembly and made the country's maiden speech to the world body on October 7th, 1960, just 1 week after Nigeria gained her independence and assumed the rights and responsibilities of a sovereign state. Tafawa Balewa thanked the body for accepting Nigeria as a fellow member of its organization and pledged that Nigeria will work with other African states for the progress of Africa.
On behalf of my countrymen in Nigeria, I thank you all most sincerely for accepting us as a fellow member in this organization. We are properly grateful for this recognition. Fourthly, Nigeria hopes to work with other African states for the progress of Africa and to assist in bringing all African territories to a state of responsible independence.
Have we achieved that goal, Rufai Oseni?
We've fared well in some instances, but we've not fared well. You see, despite all of the shenanigans we talk about, let's not forget the greatness of this country. I might come and condemn the leadership. It's the leadership I condemn. I've never been in doubt of the greatness of this country. This was the same Nigeria that stood tall for appetite, against appetite, I should say. This was the same Nigeria that had the likes of Henry Edifo-Okwe, that was challenging the British might as minister in this country when appetite was raging. This was the same Nigeria that stood with Zimbabwe. We raised money for them. So in terms of creating that leadership of the African continent, we have. I mean, I've read many books on that. There's a new book out by Yemi Ogunbi that talks about interviews with world leaders, where he was talking about the respect Julius Nyerere had for Nigeria. The truth has to be said, we have stood tall. But over the years, there's also been a decline because of the leadership. Most of it are the military regime that precipitated this great decline. Nigeria, from being a beacon of hope, now became a country that missed the Nations Cup because of, spat between Nigeria and South Africa because of the military regime. Nigeria now become a country that is so economically backward now that the CFR of those neighboring West African countries cannot. Now it's even better than the Naira. These were the same people that used to come and do menial jobs here because of the strength of the Naira. Nigeria has gone bad economically that Food, to get food is not a problem. Where I just asked, how much the bag of rice now? I hear it's dropped over 100,000 as we speak today. We have fared well in the past. We have shown leadership. And that's why we call on our leadership. And how do you provide leadership? You provide leadership by also having a viable opposition. But you see, people like Atiku Abubakar that are calling for a coalition, he has not answered many questions in the last election that a lot of people ask him. That's why some people will say Wike has a grouse. Despite the fact that he's doing it overboard, he has a grouse. When he was supposed to think of the greater interest, he was also thinking of his own interest.
Okay.
And that's why when you say a coalition, is it these ones that are fractures that are going to come together to have a coalition where the problem is everybody wants to be president?
Right.
Nobody wants to step down for one another.
Right.
So, and also showing that video, that was the golden voice of Africa. I'm talking about Tafawa Balewa. That was the man that when he died, there was little or no money in his bank accounts. Those ones served.
Yeah.
They were not there because they want to loot the resource of the nation. That was when Nigeria, a couple of years after, went ahead on a state visit to America, and you had the Vice President of America come and receive him in the airport, and there was a lot of enthusiasm about Nigeria then. That was when Nigeria was listed on the Times magazine for a lot of the prospect this nation had. But guess what? We've had wars in between, the civil war, which ought not to have happened. And a lot of things have crippled Nigeria. Today we're having agitations of division. But I'm never in doubt of the greatness of this country. But I beg our leaders, let this country breathe. Because you are the ones killing this country.
What's your glass? Boss, I didn't tell you. You don't regret today.
Like you said, the cable just dissected, fact-checked everything that he said.
Yeah.
A number of people have said, oh, because it's been securitized, it means that where before it wasn't securitized, now it's been structured. But the truth is that, like Mr. Opatola said, it was a creative use of language to sound good. When you hear the president's speech on the surface of things, without going into the technical explanation of securitization or not securitization, it is the fact that people feel like when you hear that, oh, one debt has been cleared, we have been able to sort it out. But in principle, what he has just been done is that he has been restructured. But over the years, I think over 30 years, Nigeria will still have to pay. So what the breakdown for that is that the federal government owed, by printing Ways and Means, and then now the Nigerians will have to pay for this particular debt. Now, beyond that is the fact that there was criticism around how this was obtained, was due process done, did the National Assembly approve it, what was the money used for? We were not involved in that process, so why should we then be involved in the process of paying back? And this is why accountability is key. So just to mention that.
Yes, Dr. Bati, over to you, quickly.
Okay, yes, we've been on this subject before now. Yesterday, we commented broadly on the president's speech.
On the president's
and the revelation, which was something circulating on social media, was that there were aspects of that presidential statement that were not correct. Securitization that they talk about, Tilewa Adebajo has been on this program many times. He had pointed out that the way the federal government went about ways and means is a violation of the CBN Act expressly, exceeding the threshold. And the TINUBU government, saying that they have cleared all the debts. Okay, what exactly did they clear? Is this securitization, which itself is problematic? What is important for me is that, it's very embarrassing to find that the president of Nigeria will deliver a speech, and ordinary people out there will be fact-checking the president of Nigeria. So what is the work of the people who prepared that speech, who vetted that speech, if they can allow things to go in that speech, that the quotable quotes that will come out of the president's speech is not, the lofty things that he may have said, but errors that are contained in that speech. I think it's something they should watch out for. And I think it's because of that I said certain persons must be sanctioned for exposing the president of Nigeria to embarrassment. The Victor that you were quoting, he sounded very confident about his own facts. And he's not the only one. There are other people out there who have said, wait a moment, what are they saying here? That's number one. Number two, I want to talk about Mr. Peter Obi's statement, who says, countries that became independent also in 1960. Yes, in 1960, 17 African countries gained independence. But if you look at most of those countries, I think in Africa, that's what I'm saying, Nigeria is still doing better than that. We are better than countries like Mauritania, Mali, I will even say we are better than Senegal. Senegal also got their independence in 1960. Benin Republic, Gabon, or Niger, even Niger became independent in 1960. But I think the point that Mr. Peter Obi was making was that as of 1960, Nigeria was one of the big countries of the world in terms of potentials. Prime Minister Tafawa Balewa, that you pointed out at that time, ran a government that was very friendly with Malaysia. Malaysia and Nigeria, they were at the same level at that time. Malaysia, where Malaysia is today, if Malaysia is in Maiduguri, Nigeria is in Lagos. And that is the embarrassment. And I think it's because of that Punch, in their editorial yesterday, wrote categorically that this country is a mess. That this country has lost its way. And I've said President TINUBU, echoing Kestama, told us that there is light at the end of the tunnel. Nigerians want to see light inside that tunnel. Absolutely. Because ordinarily, common intelligence, if you come out of a tunnel, you will see light now. So.
Thank you for staying connected, my great and wonderful viewers. You can see the way they actually disgraced Bola Ahmed Tinubu a few years ago. This have never happened in the history of any country before. It's not even in Nigeria. It have never happened in the history of any president in Nigeria that the president have not used up to 2 years in office and the citizens of the country begin to disgrace him like this. Tinubu used just less than 2 years in office, and a lot of Nigerians are actually feeling the pain. They said, no, this is inhuman, that the pain that Tinubu is making them to go through is an inhuman pain. That is only someone that is not feeling the pain of the people. It's only someone that is not a human being that can be making his own citizen to be going through this kind of pain. That is why Nigerians are saying that they are not scared of anything again. Unlike before, that the Nigerian people always be scared of the Nigerian politicians, they scared of the leaders, they scared of the presidents and all of that. But now, hunger is not anybody's mate. Nigerians are saying they are fearless at the moment. That's why they even called the protest fearless protest of October. And they started the protest yesterday. You can see the way they disgracing Bola Ahmed Tinubu. A lot of people were thinking that there will not be total turn up in the street because according to the August protest, Tinubu arrested a lot of people. More than 2,000 protesters were arrested and they locked them up and they did not release them till some moment. And according to reports, they charged 10 of them for treason, and treasonable felony is an offense under the law that is punishable by death or by life sentence. What did these people do? Because they came up with placard and they agitate the are feeling. They said no, the government is not doing well, that they want a better government for their country. And they saw the corruption that is ravaging now, because corruption is now working with walking stick in Nigeria and working brilliantly even in EFCC custody. Corruption is working day and night and nothing is being done. And Nigerians are saying that no, the real thief is not being apprehended by the EFCC, but EFCC is running after innocent citizens and some little Yahoo boy that are doing fraud up and down and all of that. And Nigerians are saying it is not the Yahoo boys that is the problem of Nigeria, that Nigerian politicians are the problem of Nigeria. That's why they're pulling out the mass. They said no, enough is enough. Nigeria must be okay. They said they can't become a slave in their own country. Now TINUBU tried, according to reports, and with the body language of TINUBU, he never wanted anybody to protest against his government. Even the daughter of TINUBU came out back then. He said nobody should protest against his father because his father have not used up to 3 years in office. That it is after he used 3 years out of 4 years in office, that's when people can start complaining and all of that, and people are dying of hunger every day. And according to reports, a moment after the August protest, a moment after the people made their demonstration for like 10 days, TINUBU increased fuel price. They increased the suffering of the people, and you know it is the fuel that is controlling the economy of Nigeria. They increased fuel price. Dangote refinery came to stay, and as the Dangote refinery came to stay, it did not have effect. Though they tried to sabotage the refinery, and Dangote himself cried back then, but now even the refinery is not even adding any effect to Nigeria economy, because they never allow Nigerians to see the dividends of the refinery. They never allow Nigerians to reap the dividends of the Dangote refinery, and Nigerians are still anguishing in pain. They still selling for around 1,200 naira per liter. They said Dangote must not sell fuel to anybody in Nigeria. There is only the NNPC, and according to the report, there are fraud in the NNPC segment, and they said it is only NNPC that they should be sending fuel to, and that is where NNPC began to hike up the price of fuel. And Nigerians are saying they need answers to their questions. They write a lot of questions in their placard that they've taken up and down since October 1, the Independence Day, and they be saying that TINUBU must attend to their questions and they must provide an answer. And I said that it's not enough. TINUBU came out in the Independence Day and tell Nigerians to be patient with him, and Nigerians are saying that no, enough is enough. They can't continue to be patient with him, because the more they keep patient, the more it's spoiling their life and their career, that they are not even having hope in their own country again. The more they be patient, increase fuel price. The more they be patient, increase the tuition fee of institution and even electricity tariff. The more they be patient, there are hyperinflation in the country. People cannot afford to eat 1 square meal in their house. They die of hunger every day, so people are eating grass. The more they be patient, a lot of things are going down. The more they be patient, there have been a lot of mismanagement of funds in the SOWORE chamber, and there have been a lot of irregularities taking place and misuse of and abuse of power. The more they be patient, a lot of Nigerians have been thrown into jail innocently, and things are not working in the country. The more they be patient, the more they spending Nigerian money recklessly, and the more Nigerians are patient, the more they embezzling the public fund and they are looting the treasure hold of Nigeria, and nothing is remaining in Nigeria again. Now Nigerians are saying no, enough is enough. You can see the way they carry out animal to represent TINUBU. They carry out cow that do this TINUBU, and this is a big disgrace to the sitting president of the country. And TINUBU still keep turning blind ear, as if he's not listening to the agitation of the people, as if he's not seeing anything. And TINUBU turned his own blind ear to the agitations of the people, and the people are saying this time around the protest is not having a stop. That is a timeless protest, that it is until when TINUBU attend to the agitations, that is when they will stop the protest. It's not like 10 days of August protest and all. That's what Nigerians are saying. And you can see the way they carry coffee for TINUBU. They said this is the coffee of TINUBU. That's the when they said TINUBU coffee enter Lagos. You can see when Nigerians are disgracing TINUBU, and as if that is not enough, they said TINUBU is dead, because they believe that for someone to be seated as the city president of the country, and the citizens are anguishing in pain and poverty, and the people are dying of hunger every day, they said the president there is as worse as a dead president. That's what they're saying. So drop up in the comment section of this video, as I'm gonna look at that thing that for you. Ensure follow me on my social media handles on Facebook at LAJUPOG TV and LAJUPOG Entertainment, and on Instagram at LAJUPOG. Guess what, guys? See you in my next video. Bye for now.
I see the hot for my body, I say make I yarn you. Religious gossip plenty day for body. Pastor with the line on top, be pastor. For LAJUPOG Watch TV. Pastor with the bar, where politician with the do pass himself. All the why you waiting for church.